Today, we're talking about decorating for seniors. And no, I'm not about to tell you to fill your house with doilies and plastic-covered couches like it's 1975. We're talking style, comfort, and actually making your home work for you, instead of turning it into an obstacle course. Let's be honest, some homes are designed like a cruel joke. You've got slippery floors, dim lighting, and furniture that looks nice but feels like sitting on a bag of rocks. And don't even get me started on those tiny, impossible-to-read labels on appliances. Whoever designed those has never met a pair of aging eyes in their life. But here's the thing. Your home should feel like your space. It should be safe, easy to move around in, and, most importantly, not look like a hospital waiting room. So today, I'm giving you 25 decorating tips that actually make sense. No fluff, no nonsense, just smart, stylish, and practical changes to make your home work for you. And if you think this means giving up on personality and fun, stick around. You're in for a surprise. Welcome to AgeWise. Let's begin. Tip number 1. Make lighting work for you. Because squinting isn't a design choice. Let's start with something basic, but absolutely essential. Lighting. If you can't see where you're going, does it really matter how nice the place looks? Dr. Rupal Morjaria, an ophthalmologist, says poor lighting is one of the biggest contributors to falls in older adults, especially in hallways, staircases, and bathrooms. And yet, half the homes I walk into are lit like a cheap horror movie. I remember visiting my Uncle Joe's house last year. He's in his late 70s, still sharp as a tack, but for some reason, his living room had the same lighting setup as a medieval dungeon. One dim lamp in the corner, flickering like it was auditioning for a ghost story. I walked in and immediately tripped over his coffee table. He laughed, but I told him, "Joe, this isn't ambiance. This is an insurance claim waiting to happen." So here's the fix. Layer your lighting. Overhead lights for general brightness. Task lighting for reading or cooking. Motion sensor night lights for those late-night bathroom trips. Swap out dim bulbs for LED lights with a warm tone. They are brighter, clearer, and last for years, so you're not climbing a ladder every 6 months. If your home still looks like it's trying to set the mood for a ghost sighting, it's time for an upgrade. Your eyes will thank you, and so will your shins. And speaking of things in your home that might be secretly working against you, let's talk about the next mistake almost everyone makes. Tip number 2. Choose furniture that loves you. Back furniture should work for you, not against you. If you have to fight to get out of a chair, that's a problem. Low, squishy sofas might look inviting, but if standing up requires a 3-step, strategy and a prayer, it's time for a change. Go for seating with firm cushions and sturdy armrests. A good chair should support your back, let you sit and stand easily, and not swallow you whole like an overstuffed marshmallow. Avoid anything with wheels unless you want an unplanned adventure across the room. Tables and nightstands should be the right height, so you're not bending down like you're retrieving lost treasure every time you need a glass of water. Look for rounded edges instead of sharp corners. Your shins will appreciate the effort. Your home should be comfortable, but it should also help you move, not slow you down. The right furniture makes life easier. And speaking of making things easier, let's talk about a simple trick that instantly improves any space. Tip number 3, use contrasting colors, so you can actually see things. A beautiful home is great, but if everything blends together, you're one step away from tripping over your own furniture. Contrast is key. Light floors with dark furniture, dark countertops with light-colored dishes, walls that don't match the exact shade of your couch. Your eyes need definition to process depth and space, and a little contrast goes a long way. This isn't about making your home look like a circus. You don't need neon yellow chairs against a black and white floor like some modern art experiment. Just make sure key areas stand out. Stair edges should be a different shade than the steps. Light switches should be easy to spot. Even your favorite mug should be a color that doesn't disappear into the kitchen counter. The goal is to make navigating your home effortless. No more squinting to find the remote because it's the same shade as the coffee table. No more misjudging where the edge of the couch is. A little color contrast is a simple fix that makes everything clearer. And if you think visibility is important, wait until we talk about the one thing in your home that could literally take you down. Tip number 4. Get rid of tripping hazards. Before they get rid of you, your home should not feel like an obstacle course. Loose rugs, cluttered walkways, and low furniture corners are just waiting to take you down when you least expect it. One wrong step, and suddenly you are starring in your own slow-motion fall scene, except there's no stunt double to break your landing. Start with the obvious offenders. If a rug slides around when you walk on it, it is not a rug, it is a trap. Secure it with a non-slip backing, or just get rid of it altogether. Keep pathways clear, especially in high traffic areas like hallways and around the bed. If you have extension, cords running across the floor, reroute them or tape them down before they turn into a surprise agility test. Furniture placement matters too. If you have to shimmy sideways to get through a room, something is wrong. Arrange things so you can walk freely without bumping into sharp edges or squeezing through tight spaces. A home should feel open, safe, and easy to navigate. Take a good look around and ask yourself, is this space working for me, or am I working around it? If it's the latter, it's time for some changes. And if you think tripping hazards are bad, wait until we talk about the hidden dangers sitting right in your kitchen. Tip number 5. Make the kitchen senior friendly. Unless you enjoy wrestling with cabinets, a kitchen should make cooking easier, not feel like a workout. If you are stretching, bending, and digging through cabinets like you are on a scavenger hunt, something needs to change. I learned this the hard way when I visited my Aunt Linda. She's in her 70s and still makes the best homemade lasagna you'll ever taste. But watching her cook, it was like watching a competitive sport. She had to climb onto a step stool to grab a mixing bowl, bend down to fish a pan out of the lowest cabinet, and stretch across the counter to reach the spice rack. By the time she was done, she looked like she had just finished a full-body workout. So, here's the fix. Move the most used items to waist level. Heavy pots and everyday dishes should be easy to grab without bending or reaching. Install pull-out shelves in lower cabinets so you are not digging through a dark hole just to find the right lid. Swap out those tiny, impossible-to-grab cabinet knobs for larger, easy-to-hold handles. A kitchen should work for you, not wear you out. Make small changes now, so cooking stays enjoyable instead of turning into a test of flexibility. And while we are on the topic of convenience, let's talk about something else that deserves an upgrade: your bathroom. Because if there is one place you do not want to struggle, it's there. Tip number 6. Upgrade your bathroom. Because slipping isn't a morning routine. If there is one room in your home that has to be safe, it's the bathroom. Wet floors, awkward layouts, and hard surfaces make it one of the most dangerous places in the house. A quick trip to the shower should not feel like stepping onto an ice rink with no skates. Start with the basics. A non-slip mat inside and outside the shower is a must. If your bath mat slides around like it's auditioning for a dance competition, replace it immediately. Grab bars are another game changer. Not those flimsy suction cup ones, but properly installed, weight-bearing bars near the toilet and inside the shower. They give you something solid to hold on to, whether you are getting in and out of the tub or just need extra support. Consider swapping out your traditional tub for a walk-in shower. High tub walls are an accident waiting to happen. A shower with a built-in seat and a handheld shower head makes the entire experience safer and more comfortable. And speaking of comfort, upgrading to a raised toilet seat with armrests can make a big difference. Sitting down and standing up should not feel like a squat challenge. Good lighting is just as important here as it is in the rest of the house. Bathrooms are often poorly lit, which makes slippery surfaces even more dangerous. Install bright, warm LED lights so you can see clearly without feeling like you are under a spotlight. And if you ever find yourself fumbling around in the middle of the night, motion sensor nightlights are a simple solution. The goal is to create a bathroom that feels secure, easy to use, and comfortable. A few small changes now can prevent a major accident later. And while safety is critical, so is making your home feel good to live in. That's why up next, we are talking about the easiest way to instantly refresh any space. Tip number 7. Declutter like your sanity depends on it. A cluttered home is not just an eyesore. It's a daily frustration and, more importantly, a safety hazard. Piles of newspapers, stacks of old magazines, knickknacks on every surface before. You know it, your home starts looking like a museum of things you might use someday but never actually do. Start with the easy stuff. If you haven't used it, worn it, or even thought about it in the last year, it's time to let it go. Donate, recycle, or toss things that no longer serve a purpose. The goal is to keep what you love and actually use, not to hold on to things, just because you have had them forever. Furniture placement matters too. If you have to shimmy sideways through a room, there's too much in the way. Keep walkways wide and clear, especially in high-traffic areas. A well-organized space is not only safer, but also feels better to live in. Storage should be smart and accessible. No more shoving things into hard-to-reach places where they disappear forever. Use storage ottomans, baskets, and shelving units that keep everything within easy reach. And if you are still holding onto a junk drawer that hasn't been opened, in 5 years, it's probably time to say goodbye. A clean, uncluttered space makes life easier. It reduces stress, makes everything more accessible, and, let's be honest, it just looks better. And speaking of making things look better, let's talk about the quickest way to refresh any room without spending a fortune. Tip number 8. Add a fresh coat of paint for an instant transformation. Nothing changes the feel of a room faster than a new coat of paint. It is the simplest and most affordable way to refresh your space without buying all new furniture. The right color can make a room feel brighter, bigger, and more inviting. Stick to warm, neutral tones like soft beiges, warm grays, or light blues. These colors create a calming atmosphere without making the space feel dull. Avoid stark whites that can feel too sterile or super dark shades that can make a room look smaller. If you love bold colors, use them as accents with pillows, rugs, or artwork instead of covering the entire room in something that might feel overwhelming over time. Finish matters too. Matte paint hides imperfections, while semi-gloss is great for areas like kitchens and bathrooms where walls need to be cleaned more often. A low VOC paint is a smart choice to avoid strong fumes and keep the air quality safe. If painting an entire room feels like too much, focus on one accent wall. A slightly darker shade behind the bed, couch, or dining table can add depth without overpowering the space. And don't forget doors and trim. A fresh coat of white or a subtle contrast color makes a space feel polished and complete. Refreshing. Your walls is a simple weekend project with a big payoff. It makes everything look clean, updated, and more intentional. And if you think color is powerful, wait until we talk about how the right fabrics can completely change the way a room feels. Tip number 9. Choose fabrics that feel good and don't try to kill you. Let's talk about fabrics, because if your couch feels like a sandpaper-covered rock, or your bedding is so slippery you slide out of bed like a cartoon character, we have a problem. First off, ditch the itchy, stiff, or high-maintenance materials. If a fabric feels like it belongs in a waiting room, or requires dry cleaning every time you breathe on it, it's not worth it. Soft, breathable, and washable fabrics are the way to go. Think cotton, linen, or microfiber. Your skin will thank you. And while we are at it, let's address the slippery fabric disaster. Satin sheets might sound fancy, but unless you enjoy waking up on the floor at 3 a.m. because you slid right off the bed, stick to something with a little grip. The same goes for throw pillows. They should be comfortable, not decorative landmines. If you have to move 12 pillows just to sit down, you might be overdoing it. Curtains and upholstery matter too. Go for textures that add warmth without trapping dust. Heavy drapes might look dramatic, but if they weigh more than you do and require a pulley system to open, it's time for an upgrade. Light, airy curtains let in natural light and keep things feeling fresh. Your home should feel as good as it looks. No more fighting with your furniture or losing battles with your bedding. And if you think fabrics can be tricky, wait until we talk about rugs. Because if you're not careful, Those things will take you down faster than a bad decision. On roller skates. Tip number 10. Pick rugs that don't try to end you. Rugs can make a space feel warm and inviting, but they can also turn your home into an extreme sports course if you are not careful. If your rug slides around every time you step on it, that is not decor. That is a hazard waiting to happen. First rule of rugs. If it moves, secure it. Get a non-slip backing or rug tape. If that thing still won't stay put, roll it up and donate it to someone with better balance. No rug is worth a trip to the emergency room. Second, watch out for the curled corners. Nothing says safety hazard like a rug that sticks up just enough to catch your foot. If the edges won't lay flat, swap it out for something with a lower pile or a bound edge. Third, consider size and placement. Tiny rugs in the middle of big rooms look ridiculous and serve no purpose. A properly sized rug should fit under your furniture, not float awkwardly in the middle of the floor like a lost island. And if you have a runner in a hallway, make sure it is wide enough so you are not tiptoeing along the edges like you're on a tightrope. Rugs should add warmth and style, not an element of danger. If yours has ever nearly taken you down, it is time for a rethink. And speaking of things that make a home feel more inviting, let's talk about why bringing a little nature indoors is one of the best decorating decisions you can make. Tip number 11. Bring in plants that won't judge you for forgetting to water them. A little greenery can do wonders for a space. Plants make a home feel fresh, add a pop of color, and even help clean the air. But let's be honest, not everyone has the time, patience, or memory to care for something that needs constant attention. If your last plant died under suspiciously neglectful circumstances, don't worry. There are plenty of options that won't hold a grudge. Start with the indestructible champions of the plant world. Snake plants, pothos, and zizi plants can survive just about anything. Forget to water them for 2 weeks? No problem. Accidentally put them in the wrong light? They'll deal with it. These plants are basically the house pets of the decorating world. Low effort, high reward. For something even easier, go for fake plants. No shame in the artificial route if it means you get the look without the responsibility. Just make sure they don't look like they came straight from a discount store in 1985. A well-placed, realistic artificial plant can brighten up a corner without demanding anything from you. The key is adding life to your space without making it feel like you've committed to a second job as a gardener. Whether real or faux, a few well-placed plants can transform a room from dull to vibrant in an instant. And if you think plants make a space feel cozy, wait until we talk about the power of a well-placed scent. Because your home should look good, but it should smell good too. Tip number 12. Make your home smell amazing without overwhelming your senses. A beautiful home is about more than just what you see. It is also about what you smell. And let's be real, scent is one of those things you don't always notice until it's bad. Maybe it's that mysterious old house smell, last night's fish dinner lingering in the kitchen, or that floral air freshener that punches you in the face the second you walk in. Getting the right balance is key. First things first, get rid of bad odors before adding good ones. No amount of candles or air fresheners will cover up a musty couch or an ancient carpet that has absorbed years of mystery smells. Wash fabrics. Open windows for fresh air, and if something still smells questionable, it might be time to replace it. Now, let's talk about bringing in good scents the right way. Strong artificial sprays can be overpowering, and nobody wants to feel like they are trapped inside a department store perfume counter. Instead, go for subtle, natural scents. Essential oil diffusers are a great option because they release a gentle, steady fragrance without being overwhelming. Lavender, vanilla, and citrus are clean, inviting scents that make a space feel fresh without taking over. Scented candles are great, but placement matters. One well-placed candle in the living room can make the whole space feel cozy. 4 different. Candles in competing scents will make your house smell like a confusing mix of cinnamon, ocean breeze, and pumpkin spice. Pick a scent theme and stick with it. For an effortless, always fresh scent, try simmer pots. Throw some citrus slices, cinnamon sticks, and cloves into a pot of water on the stove and let it simmer. It fills your home with a warm, inviting smell. That makes everything feel more welcoming. The goal is to make your home smell clean, fresh, and inviting without overwhelming your senses. Because nothing ruins a cozy space faster than walking in and wondering, what is that smell? And while scent sets the mood, the way a home feels is just as important. That's why up next, we are talking about a simple trick to instantly make any space more comfortable. Tip number 13. Use layers to make your home instantly more comfortable. A well-decorated home isn't just about looking nice, it's about feeling good. And if your space feels a little cold, flat, or just blah, the easiest way to fix it is layering. This isn't just about throwing in a few extra pillows and calling it a day. It's about combining textures, fabrics, and finishes to make your home feel cozy and inviting without looking cluttered. Start with your seating. A couch by itself is just furniture, but add a soft throw blanket draped over the side, a couple of well-chosen pillows, and suddenly, it looks like a place you want to sit down and relax. Mix different textures, smooth cotton, soft velvet, maybe a touch of knit, to create warmth and depth. The key is contrast. If everything is the same fabric, the space can feel flat. Next, layer your floors. If you have hardwood or tile, a well-placed area rug instantly softens the room. Even if you already have carpet, a smaller rug can help define a space and add personality. Just make sure it's properly secured, because nothing kills the cozy vibe faster than tripping over a rug that won't stay put. Don't forget your walls. A plain wall can feel cold, but layering in framed art, mirrors, or even some well-placed shelves makes the space feel lived in and intentional. Mix different frame styles and sizes to create visual interest without making it look cluttered. Lighting plays a role in layering too. Combine different light sources, a soft table lamp, warm overhead lighting, maybe even a few battery-powered candles, to create depth and warmth. Overhead lighting alone can make a room feel harsh, but adding softer lights at different heights instantly makes it feel more inviting. Layering isn't about stuffing a space with things. It's about creating depth, warmth, and personality in a way that feels effortless. A room that's too minimal can feel cold and uninviting. A room that's too busy can feel overwhelming. But the right layers, they make everything feel just right. And speaking of balance, up next we are talking about how to arrange your furniture in a way that makes your home look and function better. Tip number 14. Arrange your furniture like you actually live there. Furniture placement can make or break a space. A room can have the nicest couch, the coziest chairs, and the best lighting. But if everything is shoved against the walls like a high school dance, it's not doing you any favors. Your furniture should work with your lifestyle, not just sit there like a waiting room setup. Start with the flow of the room. You should be able to walk through your space without weaving through an obstacle course of furniture legs and coffee tables. If you have to sidestep around a chair just to get to the kitchen, something needs to move. Wide, clear walkways makes a room feel open and easier to navigate, especially if you ever need to maneuver with a cane, walker, or grandkid running full speed at your knees. Create conversation areas. If your seating is all pointed at the TV, like it's the only thing that matters, it's time to rethink the layout. Arrange chairs and sofas to face each other, creating a cozy space that invites conversation. Even if you do love your TV, angling the furniture slightly can make the room feel more inviting and less like a home theater. Think about access. Your most used seats should have a side table nearby, so you are not constantly getting up to grab a drink, book, or remote. The coffee table should be within easy reach, not so far away that you have to lean forward like you are stretching for a workout. And if you use a recliner, make sure there's enough space behind it so you don't end up wedging yourself into a corner every time you lean back. A well-arranged room feels comfortable, functional, and welcoming. It should fit how you live, not just follow some rigid decorating rule. And if you think a little rearranging makes a big difference, Wait until we talk about how personal touches can take your home from nice to uniquely yours. Tip number 15. Add personal touches. Because your home shouldn't look like a hotel. A beautifully decorated space is great, but if it feels like it came straight out of a catalog, something is missing. Your home should feel like your home, not just a well-arranged collection of furniture. The key? Personal touches that reflect your life, your memories, and your personality. Start with photos. Not just any photos, ones that actually make you happy. A framed picture of your grandkids making silly faces is worth more than some random landscape painting you don't even like. Create a gallery wall with family photos, travel memories, or moments that bring you joy. Mix in a few well-chosen art pieces that speak to you, not just ones that match the couch. Incorporate meaningful objects. That vase you picked up on vacation. The clock that's been in the family for decades. The cozy quilt your best friend made for you. These things tell a story and make a home feel lived in rather than just decorated. Books, hobbies, and interests matter too. If you love gardening, display a few houseplants and garden books. If you're a music fan, showcase a few records or instruments. If you collect something, find a way to display it stylishly instead of stuffing it in a box. The things you love should be part of your space. A home without personal touches might look nice, but it won't feel like you. The goal isn't perfection. It's warmth, comfort, and a reflection of the life you've built. And speaking of comfort, let's talk about why a little sound control can make your home feel even better. Tip number 16. Control noise, unless you enjoy living in an echo chamber. A beautiful home isn't just about what you see. It's also about what you hear, or in some cases, what you can't stop hearing. Hard floors, bare walls, and minimal furniture might look sleek, but they can also turn your house into an echo chamber where every footstep sounds like a drum solo. The good news? Soft textures absorb sound. Area rugs, curtains, and upholstered furniture all help to cut down on that annoying, hollow sound that makes everything feel less cozy. If your living room sounds like a public restroom every time someone talks, a well-placed rug can work wonders. Wall decor helps too. Canvas paintings, fabric wall hangings, and bookshelves all absorb sound and keep a space from feeling too loud. If your TV sounds like it's shouting at you even on low volume, it might be bouncing off too many hard surfaces. Adding a few soft elements can make voices and music sound richer and less harsh. Even small changes make a difference. Swapping out metal blinds for fabric curtains reduces noise. A couple of extra throw pillows. Instant sound absorption. And if outside noise is a problem, a white noise machine or soft instrumental music in the background can help balance things out. A well-designed home isn't just easy on the eyes, it's easy on the ears too. Because a place that looks relaxing should sound relaxing. And if you think sound affects a space, wait until we talk about why adjusting your room's temperature can make everything feel even better. Tip number 17. Keep your home at the right temperature. Because comfort shouldn't come with frostbite or a heat stroke. A well-decorated home is useless if you are sitting there shivering under 5 blankets or sweating like you just ran a marathon. Temperature control is one of the most overlooked parts of home comfort, but it makes all the difference. Start with smart heating and cooling. If you are constantly adjusting the thermostat like it's a game of chance, it might be time for a embraer, programmable or smart thermostat. Set it to keep things cool when you need it and warm when you don't, without having to remember to change it every few hours. Ceiling fans and portable heaters can also help. A fan set to the right speed can keep air circulating without blasting. Cold air at your face. A small space heater near your favorite chair means you don't have to crank up the heat for the whole house just to feel comfortable in one room. Window treatments make a difference too. Thick, insulated curtains keep the cold out in the winter and the heat out in the summer. If your home heats up like an oven every afternoon, consider blackout shades or UV filtering window films to block some of that sunlight before it turns your living room into a sauna. Don't forget about bedding. Flannel sheets in the winter, breathable cotton in the summer, a weighted blanket for comfort, but not so heavy that you feel like you are wrestling with it in your sleep. A comfortable home is a livable home. No one wants to enjoy a beautifully decorated space while their toes are turning into ice cubes. And speaking of livability, let's talk about how the right storage solutions can keep your home looking great without feeling cluttered. Tip number 18. Smart storage. So your home looks organized instead of like a yard sale. A well-decorated home loses its charm the moment clutter takes over. If every surface is covered with random stuff, drawers are overflowing, and you have an entire chair dedicated to holding things you might put away later, it is time to get serious about storage. Start by making storage work for you, not against you. If you are constantly shoving things into a drawer just to forget they exist, that's not organization. That's procrastination with extra steps. Use clear bins, baskets, and labeled containers so you actually know where things are. Furniture with built-in storage is a game changer. Ottomans that open up, coffee tables with drawers, and bed frames with storage underneath keep things accessible without turning your home into a maze of shelves. Keep everyday items within easy reach. If you have to get on your hands and knees to grab the pot you use every night, something is wrong. Store the most used items at waist level so you are not bending, reaching, or playing an impromptu game of hide and seek every time you need something. And let's be honest, some things just need to go. If you haven't used it in years and it serves no purpose, why is it still taking up space? Decluttering isn't about throwing everything away. It's about keeping what adds value and letting go of what doesn't. The right storage solutions make your home look cleaner, feel more organized, and actually function better. And if you think storage is important, wait until we talk about why your front entrance sets the tone for your entire home. Tip number 20. Use color and texture to make your home feel alive. Home without color or texture feels like a doctor's office. Functional, sure, but not exactly warm and inviting. The trick to making a space feel alive is layering different tones, materials, and finishes in a way that looks effortless, but makes a huge impact. Start with color. If your walls, furniture, and decor are all in the same neutral tone, the room can feel a little flat. You don't have to paint the walls bright red, but adding pops of color through pillows, rugs, curtains, or even a bold piece of artwork can instantly make a space feel more vibrant. Even a simple accent wall in a richer shade can bring a whole new energy to a room. Texture is just as important as color. A room full of smooth, shiny surfaces feels cold and empty. Mixing in soft textiles like a chunky knit throw, a woven basket, or a velvet pillow adds depth and warmth. Wood, leather, metal, glass. Each texture brings its own character, and layering them makes a space feel more interesting and complete. Don't forget the little details. A wooden coffee table with a sleek ceramic vise, a soft linen couch with a couple of plush velvet pillows, a smooth leather chair next to a cozy knit blanket. These small contrasts make a home feel thoughtfully designed instead of just thrown together. A home should feel lived in, not like a furniture showroom. Mixing colors and textures makes a space feel warm, inviting, and uniquely yours. And if you think decorating is just about looks, wait until we talk about how sound plays a huge role in making your home feel like a true sanctuary. Tip number 21. Add background sound. So your home feels cozy, not like an empty warehouse. A home should feel alive, and part of that is how it sounds. If your house is so quiet, you can hear every floor creak, clock tick, or your neighbor's dog. 3 doors down, it might be time to add some background noise. Start with soft ambient sounds. A small tabletop fountain can add a gentle water trickle that makes a room feel instantly more peaceful. A white noise machine or a simple playlist of nature sounds can create a cozy atmosphere without being distracting. Even the soft hum of a fan can make a space feel less empty. Music is another game changer. Having a small speaker in your living space can set the mood with soft jazz, classical tunes, or your favorite easy listening playlist. It fills the space with warmth and makes everything feel more inviting. If music isn't your thing, an audiobook or a favorite podcast playing in the background can add just the right amount of liveliness. Textiles and furniture help absorb unwanted noise. If your home has a bit of an echo, adding curtains, rugs, and upholstered furniture can reduce that hollow feeling and make the space sound as comfortable as it looks. Sound is often the missing piece in a well-decorated home. It's what turns a quiet, sterile space into one that feels warm, comforting, and truly lived in. And if sound can transform a space, wait until you see what happens when you improve the way your home smells. Up next, let's talk about using scent to make your home feel like a sanctuary. Tip number 22. Use scent to make your home feel like a sanctuary. A beautiful home is great, but if it smells like last night's dinner or that mystery odor from the fridge, the vibe is ruined. Scent is one of the strongest ties to memory and emotion, and the right one can make your home feel instantly more welcoming and relaxing. Start with clean air first. No amount of fancy candles or diffusers will help if there's still an underlying smell lurking around. Open the windows, let in some fresh air, and if something in the house always smells off, track it down and deal with it before layering in good scents. Now pick a signature scent. Just like how fancy hotels always seem to smell incredible, your home can have a consistent scent that makes people feel instantly comfortable. Essential oil diffusers are great for a steady, subtle fragrance. Lavender for relaxation, citrus for freshness, or vanilla for warmth. If you prefer candles, go for high-quality, clean-burning ones so your home doesn't end up smelling like a chemical experiment. For an instant fix, simmer pots are magic. Throw some cinnamon sticks, citrus peels, and cloves into a pot of water on the stove and let it simmer. The scent is cozy, inviting, and way better than those artificial sprays that smell like a floral explosion gone wrong. Scent is the secret weapon of a well-designed home. It's the finishing touch that makes everything feel better. And if you think smell is powerful, wait until we talk about how proper lighting can completely change the mood of your space. Tip number 23. Use lighting to set the mood, instead of feeling like you're in an office. Lighting can make or break a space. If your home is lit like a hospital waiting room, it doesn't matter how nice your furniture is. It's still going to feel cold and uninviting. On the flip side, if your lighting is so dim you need a flashlight to read a book, that's not cozy. That's just inconvenient. The right lighting creates warmth, comfort, and the perfect atmosphere for every part of your home. Start by layering your lighting. Overhead lights are fine for general brightness, but they shouldn't be your only source of light. Table lamps, floor lamps, and wall sconces add depth and make a room feel more inviting. A small reading lamp next to your favorite chair, or a warm glow nightlight in the hallway can make a world of difference. Swap out harsh white bulbs for warm-toned LEDs. Bright blue-toned lighting might be great for a grocery store, but in your home, it just makes everything feel sterile. Warm bulbs mimic natural light and create a softer, more relaxing environment. Dimmer switches are a game changer. Being able to adjust the lighting depending on the time of day or your mood is one of the simplest ways to make a space feel more comfortable. A bright room in the morning helps you wake up, while soft, low lighting in the evening helps you unwind. Lighting isn't just about function, it's about feeling. The right setup makes your home cozy, welcoming, and easier on the eyes, literally. And if you think lighting makes a big impact, wait until you hear about how mirrors can completely transform a room without spending a fortune. Tip number 24. Use mirrors to make your space feel bigger, brighter, and more stylish. Mirrors aren't just for checking if your hair is doing something weird. They are one of the easiest and most affordable ways to make a room feel bigger, brighter, and more polished. If your space feels a little cramped or dim, the right mirror in the right spot can change everything. Start with placement. A large mirror opposite a window reflects natural light and makes the whole room feel more open. Hallways. Entryways and smaller rooms benefit the most from a well-placed mirror because they create the illusion of extra space. If you've ever walked into a restaurant and thought it was twice the size, chances are they just used mirrors really well. Avoid weird angles. A mirror that reflects a messy countertop or an awkward part of the ceiling isn't doing you any favors. Make sure it's bouncing back something pleasant, like a window view, a piece of artwork, or even just a well-arranged corner of the room. Choose a style that works for you. A sleek, frameless mirror gives a modern look, while an ornate, vintage-style mirror adds warmth and character. Full-length mirrors can make a bedroom feel luxurious, while smaller, decorative mirrors can add charm without overwhelming the space. Mirrors are an easy way to enhance light, add depth, and make any room feel more open without knocking down walls. And now that your space is looking great, let's talk about the final touch that brings everything together. How to arrange your decor so it looks intentional, not random. Tip number 25. Arrange your decor like you meant to do it. A beautifully decorated home isn't about filling every inch with stuff. It's about placing things in a way that feels natural, balanced, and welcoming. The difference between a well-designed space and a cluttered one: intentionality. Start by grouping decor in odd numbers. 3 candles on a tray look better than 2 randomly spaced apart. A set of 5 framed photos on a wall feels more cohesive than 4 spread out with no pattern. The human brain just likes odd numbers better. Don't ask me why. That's just how we're wired. Create focal points. Every room should have a natural place where the eye goes first. A fireplace, a statement chair, a beautifully arranged shelf. If you've got decor spread out with no real anchor, everything starts feeling like visual noise instead of design. Leave some breathing room. Not every shelf needs to be packed. Not every table needs a centerpiece. If a space looks too busy, take something away. Sometimes the best decorating decision is knowing when to stop. And there you have it. 25 ways to make your home feel more comfortable, stylish, and functional. From lighting to furniture placement to scent, every little change adds up to a space that truly works for you. Now I want to hear from you. What's the one decorating mistake you've made that you had to fix? Or what's your favorite trick to make a home feel more inviting? Drop it in the comments. I actually read them. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this with someone who still has their furniture pushed up against the walls like a middle school dance. See you next time.